Today I'll be talking about a classic fucking movie growing up. The Devil Rides Out. This was part of the Hammer collection. One of the four, I think 4 or 5 discs I have in this movie, if I'm corrected. and but the Devil Rides Out. I actually grew up watching this years ago. I'm trying to remember how I watched it, but I remember this was like one of my favorite movies when it comes to the satanic horror genre. And the Devil Rides Out was really good. The Devil's Daughter, To the Devil's a Daughter, that one sucks. I know, even though Christopher Lee was in it, but it's just that movie was just horrible. And please do not add that movie with this movie. Even though the guy who wrote the book for it also wrote these two movies, but he didn't wrote the movie, but he wrote the book, and the movie was based on I think Dennis Wheatley's book. And let me just tell you a funny trivia. I just read on Wikipedia on this one. The movie that I didn't like to adore was a daughter, and a lot of people would not even have the courage to admit that that movie was horrible. But it was just like it was like something I feel like that something was messed up about that movie to a Devil's a Daughter, and I realized the guy that wrote the original novel for the book, he said he never liked that movie, and when he said the movie was not even based on his book correctly, he told Hammer not to make a movie out of his book never ever again. So guess what? I shouldn't be surprised. But hopefully, if a movie needs a remake, it should be To a Devil's a Daughter. But after The Devil Rides Out, this is an awesome movie. And I also read on Wikipedia on this one too. I heard Christopher Lee would like this movie remade with newer special effects. But I thought this movie was good as is. But it would be cool to have a sequel to it. Or if they do a remake on this one, yeah, it'd be cool to have Christopher Lee in it and a younger cast. But see how the special effects is, I kind of agree with Christopher Lee on it. But to me, if not, that's even better because, like I said, this movie's awesome. The Devil Rises Out, again, if you're a fan of satanic genres, you know what you're going to get. But at least this movie, spoiler, does have a happy ending. Because most of these satanic genre horror movies, they usually, most cases, do not have a happy ending. Where pretty much the obvious ending, the devils always win. Satan won again. But this movie proves you wrong, and I really do like this one. Um, let's get to the point. Two good friends went to visit their friend, right? And realized their friend came for a reunion. They found their friend is actually a part of a satanic cult, And the old one of the friends played by Christopher Lee, and the third friend, he raised him like a son because his father. I think he mentioned that his father died, so he looked to his third friend like a son that he is responsible for him. And when he found he's practicing black magic, and you know what? Let me just say something. If they do remake this movie, I like to know how Christopher Lee's character knew about black magic, how he knew of this concept of it and what's going on. Because in the story, in this movie, it mentions that how Christopher Lee realized that his friend's practicing black magic, and you've been wondering how this guy knew about this all this time. Because if they do a remake, maybe they could do like a prequel backstory to his character. Who knows? But anyway, he finds that out. He told us, well, I want you out of this circle. I don't want you to be part of this, So he pretty much knocked him out, in a way, and said, like, yo, we're gonna get out of this house. And then the leader, who's the devil worshiper, the old man, realized that one of his followers had been kidnapped, and he wants to get him back to his circle. So, but also later on, Christopher Lee's trying to find out. We need to find out the name, how to pretty much out to stop this guy, trying to get his friend back to his circle. And there's a woman that one of the three friends knew about that he saw in a hotel or a bar, I think. So the Chris Lee's character tell his friend, get her, move away from the house, and maybe you can find some information about what's going on. And they went to get Chris Lee's character and his friends went to another friend's house where they could hide out there. And then later in the movie, you find out that the devil worshiper has powers, he could use the mind thing to make his followers kill, try to kill himself or trying to kill others or come to him. And later on, when the two followers went back to their master, Christopher Lee's character and his friend has to go back and get them back. And you see this devil worshiping ceremony scene when the devil worshiper trying to baptize the two followers to the devil himself. I think you see the devil with the goat head. And when I first saw that scene as a kid, I don't know, should I be scared or should I laugh? Because It's the way the devil was standing. He was like this. He was like, look, like, what the fuck is this shit? You know? But I mean, in a good way. You know? So anyway, Crystal Lee's cat and his friend got into the car, and they driving. He gave him a cross. You know, say, throw the cross into the goat head. The goat head, like, kind of blew up. Oh, boy, I am so sorry, people. I got my earphones on this time. I got the stub again. You know, today's rant will be real quick before I go on. When you review a movie, when you talk about a movie, when you do something on YouTube, right? Put something right in front of your door. Say, do not disturb. I'm doing YouTube right now. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. I need one of those things. I am going to start putting that shit on my wall. Maybe even have one of those poster signs. I might buy that. And we're back to what I was saying. Oh yeah, the ceremony scene when the guy threw the cross at the goat head devil. Boom! Poof! And then he knocked out the devil worshipper. And then he took the two of his friends, the woman and the man, Simon, I think his name was, and the woman, Talon, I think her name was too. And then Christopher Lee's character and his friend put him in the car, and they drove back to the house. Later on, the devil worshiper ended up going to the house, right? And then he said, I don't know well, I want my two followers back. He hypnotized the woman, so hypnotizing the two former devil worshippers because they escaped him now, and try to make them kill their friends. But later on, the woman who owns the house, daughter comes in, and then broke the worship spell, and the worshiper left the house, telling the woman of the house that I'm going to come back, you know. And then that's when Christopher Lee's character make the circle and to battle the devil worshippers. Spirit battle, pretty much it was like a spirit battle thing. And once the spirit battle was over, they realized the daughter had been kidnapped. The woman of the house daughter had been kidnapped by the devil worshipper, and she's going to be sacrificed. So the Christopher Lee's friends have to go back to a devil worship's house, right, and battle him out. And later on, the reincarnating spirit, I think it was an angel, I think it was Talon herself. I'm trying to remember. Talon, they say Talon died, but I want to ruin too much of the story because it's just going to ruin your moment, like the ending, how they set it up. I give you a little hint. When you see Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, it's somewhat kind of like that, but this came before Twilight, and this is way better than Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. So let me say that. But yeah, you're gonna have a moment like that, like what the fuck is going on here, you know? But actually, they had the spirit battle. They pretty much spiritually battled the devil worshiper and his cult, and pretty much you have your happy ending when everybody survived, and which was great, you know. Everybody survived, happy ended moment in a Titanic movie. But the Devil Rises Out is a really good movie. You can get this anywhere. Also the Blu-ray version is also out in the UK. My version is actually the Hammer 5-disc collection, I think, or is it 4-disc? I guess I can't remember. I ain't going back to that. But anyway, peace guys, and see you later.